In the last 1.5 to 2 years, Minecraft speedrunning has absolutely blew up. With that comes a lot of new world records and also a lot of new speedrun personal bests. Obviously, a lot more people are more interested in world records rather than personal bests. But personal bests can also be very interesting too, especially when they could have been personal bests. What I am talking about is when players choke their personal best speedruns. In speedrunning, the term choking means coming really close to a personal best or even a world record, but something in the run stops you from doing that. This could be something like the Ender Dragon not perching or bad gameplay, but it always sucks when you have one eye of Ender short and you can't complete the run. And in today's video, I'm going to be explaining how Semper managed to lose a sub 12 paced Minecraft speedrun due to him throwing one more pearl than he should have. As Semper spawns into the world, he can see that he's spawned next to an ocean with some trees nearby. He grabs 3 logs and then makes a crafting table so he can craft some sticks and an axe. With this axe, he can use it to break a few more logs so he can get enough wood for the rest of the run. Once he has collected enough, he can go back to his crafting table and craft a boat so he can sail around the ocean, and some doors so he can make an air pocket when he's underwater. After he's done this, he then sets sail for the ocean, hoping for a shipwreck and a magma ravine. And almost instantly, he finds both of them, both in really close proximity of each other. He then breaks his bow and dives down for the shipwreck, where from the treasure chest, he gets 10 iron ingots. This is a really solid amount of iron, since he has enough if he really wanted to craft all the tools he needed, but he's gonna skip out on crafting all of the tools because he wants to craft a flint and steel as well. Now you might be thinking, that's cool, he has enough iron for tools, but where is he gonna get food from? Well, this is where the shipwreck comes back in play, because typically shipwrecks also have a food chest. From this nearby food chest, he gets 8 carrots, 10 rotten flesh, and a leather tunic. Then he crafts all the tools he needs, then digs up enough gravel so he can get a piece of flint. Now that the shipwreck has covered him on almost everything he needs for the run, he can go to the nearby magma ravine and start building his portal. He swims down into the ravine and spends a few seconds building his portal due to the oddly shaped magma blocks. But he perseveres through it, finishing his portal and entering the Nether at 1 minute and 50 seconds. Upon entering the Nether, he immediately does a strategy called E-raying. This allows you to search around for a bastion using the E counter, which stands for entity. Due to the amount of piglins in bastions, the entity counter spikes up. The reason this happens is because piglins happen to be a mob, which also means that it happens to be an entity. Once he does this, he works out the direction of the bastion that he E-rayed. He travels the direction of the bastion, but unfortunately has some pretty rough terrain, but he perseveres and makes it through. After pushing through the terrain, he finds a little bit of a flatter area, but because he's travelled about 150 blocks and still can't see the bastion, he decides to E-ray for a second time. Once he works out that he is indeed still going the right way, he ends up seeing the bastion not too far ahead. Along with the bastion, he also notices a fortress not too far away. With this, he rushes as fast as he can to the bastion so he can get his trades done as fast as he can. After working out that the bastion is a treasure type bastion, he knows that there might be a chest in the wall of the bastion. So he digs through, and yes, there does happen to be a chest there. He opens the chest and sees that there isn't that much useful other than a gold chest plate. He takes this so the piglins won't already aggravate him before he breaks the gold blocks. After putting the chest plate on, he builds up to the bridge of the bastion where he gets 2 gold blocks that you find at the entrance. When he's mining the second gold block, he unfortunately gets hit back down to the bottom of the bastion. He luckily still managed to catch the block of gold, so all he needs to do is build back up. Once he's back up, he distracts some nearby piglin with gold so he doesn't get hit by them. He then makes his way up to the chests of the rampart and then starts trading with the piglins. Once he's gotten all of his piglin in a trading spot, he can go back to the very top of the bastion and get the extra gold blocks. He then crafts the gold blocks into ingots and then throws them down back at the piglin. Once he's thrown the gold down, he goes to the other rampart and gets the extra gold blocks from there as well. He then goes back down and gives the piglins the rest of the gold that he collected. He then checks his trades and sees that he has already enough string and a few pearls. Then he goes to the chests and has a little look and loots the stuff that he needs. He then checks his trades for one last time and then throws a pearl, exiting the bastion. After exiting the bastion, he makes his way over to the fortress that he saw earlier. He then has to do a bit of a risky play, which in the end ends up making him lose the run. He decides to throw one more pearl so he can get to the fortress. Almost instantly upon entering the fortress, he immediately finds the blaze spawner. Upon entering, the blazes immediately spawn, so he decides to kill the few that spawned. Then he proceeds to do a strategy called blaze bedding. This is where you get a bed that you might have got in a village or the extra string that you might have got from your bastion trades. Then either use the bed or make one if you don't have one already and place it down around the spawner. The reason you use this is because when you right click the bed in the nether or the end, it blows up. So runners use this to their advantage so they can blow up a bit of the nether, clearing out the blaze spawner a little more. By clearing out the blaze spawner, it has a higher chance of spawning blazes a bit quicker. And by blaze bedding, it almost blows up the entire surrounding area, leaving you to only have to break a few blocks. If you want to know where to place your bed so you can do blaze bedding properly, or just want to know about blaze bedding in general, I'll probably leave a link in the description. Now this is what Semper does. He crafts some wool using the string that he got from his bastion trades and crafts that into a bed. Then he places the bed at the front of the blaze spawner and places a block in front of that. Then he right clicks the bed and it blows up the surrounding area of the blaze spawner. Now that the surrounding area of the blaze spawner is destroyed, all he needs to do is clear out the rest of the spawner using his pickaxe. Blazes should be able to spawn a ton quicker now. And that's exactly what happens. A ton of blazes begin to start spawning a lot more often, and after a few more cycles of blaze spawning and killing blazes, he can leave the blaze spawner. He proceeds to go travel to some pretty decent blind travel cords and also gets chased by a ton of wither skeletons. So then he builds up so he can avoid getting hit by the wither skeletons. This is a little bit of a strategy that messes with wither skeleton AI. They go up to the ledge of the fortress thinking they'll be able to hit you, but they can't, and then you can just hit them off yourselves. I'll also leave a link on this strategy in the description and a timestamp so you can go see it on one of PikaJ's videos. After proceeding to avoid the wither skeletons, he builds his portal, not going back down but just where he is, so it takes a little bit of time since he's in a bit of an awkward place. But he perseveres through it and then can light his portal, exiting the nether at 8 minutes and 27 seconds. From here, the run becomes a little bit sad. He spawns straight into a cave, which is a bit annoying, but it isn't too bad. He has to dig out through the ceiling of the cave, and then he manages to come out through an ocean. Then he swims up to the top of the ocean so he can place his boat and start searching for the stronghold. After about 30 seconds of searching, he finds a barely exposed, ocean-exposed stronghold. He then digs down into the stronghold in a little bit of an awkward spot, but he perseveres and travels around, navigating to the starter room. After he arrives at the starter staircase room, he can navigate around the stronghold until he finds the portal room. He then spends about 30 to 45 seconds and then finally manages to find the portal room. As you might know by now, this is where the run has to end. As he arrives in the portal room, he can see that he doesn't have enough Eyes of Ender to fill in the end portal frames and enter the end. Now, I know from personal experience that when I get a super fast time and choke it, I just end the stream or the recording that I'm doing and just leave Minecraft as a whole. But Semper'S isn't like me, or anyone for that matter. He just doesn't even hesitate and goes straight to a next run, which is pretty awesome. It's a bit disappointing that we couldn't see Semper finish this run, and it's also a bit disappointing that we couldn't see Semper get a sub 12 speedrun. But the way he's going, he's definitely gonna get a super fast personal best soon, and soon possibly be a world record contender. As always, if you haven't already, go subscribe to Semper. His link will be in the description, and I really recommend that you go check him out. And if you enjoyed my analysis enough, consider subscribing to me as well, as I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the month, and I can't do it without your guys' help. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I see you in the next video. Goodbye everyone.